Now Streaming Sports. This is where we talk about the stories that pertains to what has happened in the world of sport. Most especially today, we're taking a review at first and foremost the AFCON on the 20 World competition that's currently ongoing in Egypt. Then we'll come back and then we'll discuss the UEFA Champions League semi-finals that we had within the course of this week on Tuesday and Wednesday precisely. But remember, I'm still here in the studio, reaching you live here from the capital city of Abuja in the Advent Cable Network Nigeria TV studio. And I'm not doing this alone this morning. I have with me my co-anchor, Mr. Godwin Ujiri.
Thank you so much, Ibuka, and welcome to the sports segment on the now-streaming show on ACNNTV. We trust you would have an exciteful time with us where we discuss every happenings in the world of sports.
All right, thank you, Mr. Godwin, and we have in the studio here with us Mr. Raphael Ojaokomo. Mr. Raphael is a social and sports commentator. Welcome to the show, Mr. Raphael.
Thank you very much, and I want to say it again. My doctor, Comrade be hearing me. My doctor has said I should not answer grant any interview that concerns yesterday's Champions League
game. All right, we hope that the instructions given by your doctor will be adhered to. All right, we'll have joining us virtually all the way from Delta State, Comrade Abraham Soko. Comrade Abraham Soko is a political and sports analyst. Comrade, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibuka. This is my favorite segment of the show.
You're welcome, my brother. All right, I hope you're ready to just a little moment face Raphael and Godwin for a few seconds.
They have said that
but before we get to that, we also want to tell you, the viewers, that you can call in via the number shown on your screen, or equally sending in your comment via our various social media handle. We might be having Dr. Edesiri Izu joining us anytime soon. So once he comes in, we'll also inform you. All right, before we talk about the sports stories, let's take a look at the front page of the Punch Sports Extra. The Punch Sports Extra says, and the lead story has a sprint sensation meets Nigerians fastest men at sub 10 seconds record hits 16. All right, that story, it's on page 6 of the Punch Sports Extra. All right, so that page 2 has the story on Joshua confirms deck return date, confirms December return date, and page 7 has the story on Awuni dismisses Osimhen's rivalry. All right, and then page 8 has the story on Champions League, and that has the scoreline between PSG and Arsenal, first and second leg, and then the aggregate goal 3-1, and it says Paris sinks Gunners. All right, and page 3 then has a story on Europa League. It says Man United versus Athletic, and then it says Devils host Lions in Europa second leg semis. The bottom straight story has a story on page 6. It says on the 20 AFCON, Nigeria survived scared to reach quarterfinal, and I think at the end of the game yesterday, where they drew 1-1 to the young Lions of Kenya, and got them the qualification they desired. All right, and then page 2 has the story on NSF 2024. Abiodu renames MKO Abiola Stadium. That's a Nigerian story. And number 7 has the story on Osei Samuel agrees Palace 5 years deal, and page 5 also has a story on Winger defense Arsenal mentality. Arsenal needs strong defense here, because they've ended up not getting any trophy for this year 2024-2025 season. Page 4 has a story on Garnacho eyes Ronaldo's record. And finally, on the Punch Sports front page, it has the story on page 3. It says Thuram mocks Yamal. Alright, so now back here in the studio. Remember, you can join this conversation by calling the number shown on your screen, or equally sending in your comment via our various social media handle, equally showing on your screen. First, let's talk about the Flying Eagles. Yesterday, after their performance in Egypt, they have qualified for the knockout stage of the 2024-2025 AFCON on the 20 competition. So, Rafa, let's hear your view. Wow, these young boys, they won their first match. They drew the second one, and now the third one also drew the third one, and they are second on the table of group
with 5
group
points.
Group B with 5 points, and and then now they've qualified for the knockouts stage of the AFCON on the 20. So what's your overview of their performances and how far we've come on the under 20 AFCON?
What we get to watch is the highlights because these games are not being aired live, so we just get to see the highlights. And from what we've seen or what I've seen thus far, I think these lads are giving a good account of themselves. So I can tell you for a fact that they're giving a good account of themselves, even though I was expecting that maybe the Kenyan game would be a walkover, but football is not mathematics.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Being that the Kenyan team were beaten by both Tunisia and what's it called? Morocco. But then we're thinking that when they get to Nigeria will get the maximum points. But they went ahead on 2 different occasions. We had to force the game to the draw, even though Nigeria tried to pull a quick one towards the end of the game. But we ended up getting a draw out of the game. I think the lads are doing well and they grow with each game. Mind you, they defeated Tunisia in their first game, and Morocco, that is a thorn in the flesh of everybody in the group, played out a draw with them. Do you understand? And I also think the goalkeeper is also doing a great job because if you watch him, the guy makes great saves in the tournament. Now we have passed the group stage. It is now the quarterfinals. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I think it's the stage where getting to the quarterfinal automatically gets you a World Cup ticket. I think
on
so.
The 20 World Cup.
On the 20 World Cup. So kudos to them for getting that far. But now we need to get one better, which is whatever team we're playing in the quarterfinals, we need to get a good result. Now we want to go all the way to win the tournament because it's been a while. Do you understand me? But from the looks of things thus far, Ali Zubeiru's men, that's the boys, are really doing good and they're playing well.
All right, thank you. So, looking at the other groups, because we see in Group B where we have Nigeria, Tunisia, Morocco, and Kenya. They're not looking at the other groups where we have Sierra Leone, we have South Africa, we have Zambia, and we have Egypt. We see the likes of Sierra Leone topping their table with a whopping 7 points, followed by South Africa with 6 points. Did you expect Sierra Leone to top the group where we have the likes of Egypt and the likes of South Africa in the same group?
Like I said earlier on, football is not mathematics, where although there were times in age grade football where the teams you see mostly is Nigeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, and what have you. Sometimes maybe even Egypt. Do you understand me? But now we see teams from even what's it called? Some of these countries we don't expect coming to do well. There were the days where teams like Gambia played. I think they won the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But they played really well in that tournament. And you see also Zambia and Uganda also doing very well. Even in these tournaments, the first game Kenya played against Morocco, they were leading 2-0. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, Morocco came from nowhere. So, but I'm not surprised to hear Sierra Leone doing very well in the tournaments because it is age grade football, and age grade football, it doesn't automatically transfer your senior team form to the age grade. It's 2 different things entirely. And these guys are young guys who want to prove a point because, mind you, if you don't show yourself now and you leave the tournament, you may most likely not be able to anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you understand? So everybody wants to prove a point at this point in time so that they can even go to the World Cup. By the time they go to the World Cup, it's a way of showing them to the world and then being marketable. So I'm not surprised at all. All
right, thank you. So let me come to Comrade Abraham Soko. Let's find out what's your own take, what's your own review on the ongoing AFCON under 20.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Ebuka. First off, I would want to say that I've been really, really impressed with the boys. On this show, we have lamented our lack of representation in our the under 17 World Cup and the lack of participation. And I'm really, really happy that we have our under 20 boys not tolling that part. They're actually doing very, very well in the tournament. And if you look at when you mentioned the group, I had to go and look at the other groups, and I would want to say that our group is like a group of death, because you have the North Africa powerhouses in our group, both the likes of Tunisia and Morocco. So for us to be able to emerge from that group shows that we are actually doing something really, really right. And Kenya is also not a walkover. They are an East African giant in football also. So I would say that we being able to emerge from a group of death is actually really, really, really good one. So I would want to say that the boys should actually try to improve on their performances, because the knockout stages does not really give you a second chance. It's you win or you go, as we saw yesterday in the Champions League. So this is another affair. So I would want to encourage them to take this their form into the knockout stages and actually prove, because you cannot actually depend on stalemate in the knockout stages. You have to either you win or you go. So generally, I want to say that I'm impressed with the boys, and I actually wish them luck. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, comrade.
All right, comrade, I would be still sticking to you now, and very quickly we would be looking at all the playoff that happened within the week in the UEFA Champions League. And I would have gone to Soko, but he has given us an advisory.
Rafiki.
Rafiki, sorry. He has given us an advisory from his doctor. So, so I would be sticking to you. However, if I ask him, I don't know how blunt he would be. So what is your overall assessment of the game that was played, say, yesterday between Arsenal and PSG?
And that of Inter Milan and Barca.
Ambassador.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask why you were jumping the Inter Milan Barcelona game, because that was an all-time classic.
Like that's the final before the final.
Yes, I have been watching Champions League for a long time. I think it's 2004. And yes, we have had really, really fantastic nights. But the game on Tuesday actually stand out. And it's not just that particular game. Over the two-legged fixture, it was spectacular. It was fantastic. It was something that every football fan should be proud of. Because there are some games that you watch, you see Ole's draw. You ask yourself that, why are you going to watch a game that will not give you goals? So this particular game, the Inter against Barcelona, it gave everything. It gave different kind of emotions. I saw a clip on social media where both the husband and the wife, one was the husband was Inter Milan, the wife was I think a Barcelona fan. So when the game actually started, it was actually the wife that was mocking the husband and jumping and laughing.
Family.
Later on, was actually the husband that had the last laugh. So it was a spectacular game, and that particular game gave over 13 goals. It was incredible over the two-leg fixture. So I was really, really impressed. I would want to say kudos to Inter Milan. I think the last time we were on the show, somebody asked me if Inter Milan was going to win their local cup, and I said no, because all their focus was on the Champions League. And if you see now, they are trailing Napoli, and they were knocked out of the Coppa Italia. But in the Champions League, it's like they decided that now here we go die. So they did spectacularly. On the game yesterday, personally, I actually felt that Arsenal was going to give us a comeback because they performed very, very well against Real Madrid. Declan Rice scored some spectacular goals in the first leg, and the second leg of that fixture, they silenced the Galacticos. So I was actually expecting them to bring that form into the PSG match yesterday. So, and when the game actually started, it was a one-way. PSG could not even get a hold of the ball in the first 10 minutes. Arsenal missed like 3 glaring chances in the first 10 minutes of that particular game. At a point, I was like, okay, this was what I expected. They brought the intensity, they brought everything to the game. But as the game progresses, the confidence of PSG started emerging. They started feeling the vibration of their fans at the Parc de France, their stadium. So they actually gradually grew into the game, and Fabian Ruiz scored a spectacular goal, and that was what led to Arsenal actually deteriorating. When Arsenal, before Arsenal could even come back late into the game, Paris PSG was actually already 2 goals up, and it was almost insurmountable for Arsenal to actually climb that particular mountain. So I would want to say my heartfelt condolences
to Raphael.
It was Arsenal were buried. They were embarking. My heart goes out to him because apart from the pain of losing, the banter is something else. When I got to Twitter yesterday, it was all red. It was really bloody. So I was like, why this much hatred for Arsenal? So it was terrible. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, comrade. Rafa, what's your take on? Let's start first from the game against the Inter Milan. And
when I saw that game, I even posted that evening. When I was watching the game and it was 2-0, and I told my younger brother who I was watching the game with, I said, this Barcelona might even come and score again. That this 2-0 is nothing. Do you understand me? And lo and behold, by the time I was doing something, I carried my phone and I refreshed my phone. I saw 2-2, I just flung the phone. I was expecting this.
It's the same reputation that happened at the first leg. The first leg,
to be very honest, I told myself that they may end up playing 3-3. That's what I said. They may end up playing 3-3. But when it was now 3-2, I said, Kai, is it that you score, you cannot even hold your own? Do you understand me? All of a sudden, 3-3. I thought I'm. Then the game went into extra time. I thought maybe to get to penalties, but lo and behold, Inter Milan scored. For me, that was the final before the final. And I hope Inter Milan has not expended all their energy just to play that game and then come against Paris Saint-Germain team, which is also very good. That's moving towards the Arsenal PSG game. It was a very good game. Everybody expected, not everybody. Now, Soko said he doesn't know why everybody hates Arsenal so much, that when he was seeing the old banter. I was also watching that game. I watched the first half, which was 1-0, and then I was driving home. By the time I got to my gate, I wanted to enter. I heard an opera. When you're watching ball, from where I was outside, I heard people shouting goal. At night, sound travels. So when I heard that shout, I say, Kai, I'm Arsenal, don't score. Because I don't think there's PSG fans in Nigeria. I don't think we have PSG fans in Nigeria.
All the Chelsea fans, all the Arsenal, Man U fans, and Manchester United fans, and Manchester City. They all supported PSG.
The echo of the goal, I said, thank God we don't score. Only for me to carry my phone, I saw 2-0. I said, that's what they hate us. You need to hear the sound of the goal. It's like when Nigeria is playing and Nigeria scores, you could hear the echo. I'm sure that viewing center is very far away from where I am, but the sound and maybe the collective goals from people's houses all came together to tell me, Oga, we have arrived. This is not the increase. And then by the time they scored, you will notice that it didn't even take split seconds or some minutes. Arsenal scored again. So the question is, where was this firepower? And that's one thing I've noticed about that Arsenal has suffered this season. Some players go out of injuries for long-term injuries, and then when they come back refreshed. Saka did it, Timber did it, but one man suffered it. What's his name? Odegaard. And he's still suffering it. Commissioner mentioned the fact that Arsenal missed the first 10-15 minutes. It was all Arsenal. And then recently, I don't know what's happening to Saliba. Loss of concentration, himself and Raya. The first goal came as a result of, I played football even in secondary school. They tell you never pass the ball to the back line. Middle. Not even to the back, to the middle if you're going to give anybody the ball. Except the person is standing alone and there's nobody with the person. You play to the side. You play to the side, but the first goal came from passing the ball to Rice, who was in the middle, and it was one as if he was firing shots to Rice, and Rice considered a free kick. The second mistake was Partey. That was what led to the goal itself. They played in a free kick. You don't head ball into a danger point. The ball came. Defenders head the ball out. You don't head ball into a danger point. The ball came, and Partey practically assisted the guy. He gave the ball to him to
the
say,
opponent.
"Oga, oh yeah, help us." And guess who again was there to assist the ball to enter the post? Saliba, because he had a brush which took the ball away from Kiwior, because Kiwior was directly in front of the ball, waiting to head the ball. But by the time he touched Saliba, he changed course, which took it away again from what's it called, Raya. I think the better team won yesterday, which was PSG. You know, there was a time that PSG thought they could win Champions League with money when they had Neymar,
Messi and Mbappe
and all. But you can see that this team is now playing as a team with Dembele spearheading. And it didn't even start yesterday. Do you understand me?
Yeah, he came in.
Now they are playing together as a team. Yesterday, Arsenal had the midfield to themselves for a good number of minutes, but didn't take advantage of that time they had there. Even when Saka was playing yesterday, watch when Saka holds the ball, you have almost 4 or 5 PSG players around him. So they knew who the danger man was, and they found a way to just cordon him off. But we discovered that other players could not live up to the billing. So I think a better team won, and we're going to see a cracker in the final between PSG and Inter Milan in Munich.
All right, thank you so much. So let me come to you, comrade, and let's find out what tactical error do you think Hansi Flick made in the game against Inter Milan, because if you ask me, I would say the Inter Milan side had more of older and more experienced players compared to that of Barca. Barca had 17, 16, 18-year-olds in the game, aside from Lewandowski, who I think is the oldest in the team list now. There are other players are practically very still in their early stages. So, what tactical error or what difference do you think Hansi Flick made in that game that made Barcelona to lose their stand?
Okay, thank you very, very much. First of all, I would want to start by saying that I cannot actually criticize Hansi Flick.
I will criticize him because when you finish.
Cannot judge a coach. Cannot judge a coach with just 2 performances, which they actually gave their all. I would want to say that Hansi Flick's tactics right from the beginning of the season has been play the eye line. If you watch Barcelona game, most of their line of midfield, their line of defense actually starts from almost the midfield. So they actually play a very, very high line. So, and it has actually worked for them. And this is what they have made them to be able to conquer Real Madrid. The 3 times they have played, even in the Copa America Super Cup final, Cup final. So, what I would want to also say on that particular game, I think that it was a game of tactics, and the coach of Inzaghi, coach of Inter Milan, he actually had better tactical power. He came from that game tactically superior than Hansi Flick, because if you look at that particular game, he packed the midfield. He had almost 5 players at the midfield. Don't kid yourself. Dumfries was not a defender in that particular game. He was actually a midfielder, and it showed. I think he gave almost either 3 to 5 goal and assist in the both missions. So it was actually not a defender. It was when in the second half that the coach brought out this. That was when Dumfries actually went to play
right back,
and did not even remain there, because the last goal, that was the 3rd goal, was the one that assisted that particular. So what the coach of Inter Milan did that actually worked for him was actually packing the midfield. You had the likes of Mkhitaryan, you have the likes of Chanaloku, you have the likes of Barella, you have the likes of Dumfries and Demarco. all being in the midfield. So that was actually that was what actually disorganized Barcelona. And if you watch that particular game, these midfielders are actually technical. It's not as if they get the ball and they shoot. They get the ball, they take one or two touches, and before you know, they set Thuram or this guy, Martinez. They set him on the run. So they are actually, Inter Milan team is actually very, very tactical. Another thing that also made Inter Milan to have that edge was that they were very direct. They don't need to get so many chances. When they get the ball, they just know that we're going to score. They were not even passing to each other. Once they get the ball, they just say we're going to score. They get the ball, we're going to score. The first leg against Barcelona, they did not have up to 5 attempts, but they scored 3. That to show how direct they are as a team. So I think that Zaghi tactical brilliance was actually on show, and that was what led to them emerging victorious in that particular game. I would not want to force Fortancy Flink so much. He gave it all, but was not good enough. Thank you, Mr.
All right, thank you, Comrade Abraham. But before we talk about the English Premier League and a couple of topics, I want you, Raphael, to also give us your take on Hansi Flick's tactics and comparing that with that of Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta's tactics against PSG.
For Arteta, I don't think he has the kind of players he would need at his disposal. So that was what played. The first leg, there was no Partey in the first leg. So the game was, someone like Rice had to drop. No chance to move forward. But he had the opportunity of doing that in the second leg. But like I said, the better team won. For Hansi Flick, I want to remind Comrade Soko, this same Barcelona played the same type of football against Chelsea in 2012 when Chelsea played against Barcelona. Check what Chelsea did in that game. Even Drogba was playing at left back. Everybody in Chelsea team was behind. In fact, it was from Chelsea we learnt the word pack the bus. It was from Chelsea we learnt the word pack the bus. They packed the bus and Barca was looking for goal, only for them to draw their high line into Chelsea's half. And then by the time Chelsea got the ball, it was only Torres and the goalkeeper. Do you understand me? We had the same issue. Barca Inter Milan, I've forgotten what year was that, in quarterfinal. They had the same issue. Now we are coming back again. Also, when Mourinho is in your team and scores you, they pack that ball. If they die on that in front of that goal post. Do you understand me? You are leading somebody 3-2 at exactly 90 plus minutes. And you are pursuing the person like, you are losing. You're still trying to want to score the person. You are winning, for crying out loud. Mind you, that midfield of Inter Milan, Comrade Soko was correct. DeMarco and Dumfries were practically playing in the midfield. And if you check all the time that Inter Milan attacked, Dumfries was in Barcelona's 18. That's a defender for you, who was supposed to be defending, but all the time he was in front. And then if you check the two main men in the midfield, Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu, they are both 30. One of them is up to 36 or thereabout. The other one is 37 or thereabout. Then Achebi, who is at the back, is 37. Do you understand me? So they knew they could not match Barca pace for pace. So what they do, like Comesoko say, when they get the ball, just look for the man who is running. Give him the ball. We are going to score. No time for moving the ball around, because the more you move the ball around, the more you get tired. Just give the person and they move. You're leading 3-2 at 90 plus minutes. What are you looking for again? Oga, pack the boss. Even Nigeria did it during Pesero's time. When Nigeria scores you, or Genero, or even Christian Chuku, late Christian Chuku, when Nigeria scores you, you go find that go tire. Do you understand me? There's no glory in scoring 50 goals. If one goal can get you the trophy, that's all you need. If one goal can get you the trophy, Greece in 2004, Euro 2004, go and check all the games that Greece played. The only game that Greece scored more than one goal was in the final. They score you one, and that's all. They score you one, that's all. They got to the final after beating Portugal 1-0 in the opening game or thereabouts. They met Portugal in the final. Portugal scored. They scored Portugal. Portugal equalized. They came out again, scored, and went back, and that was the end. So I think at some point you might need to tweak whatever it is you call tactics just to fit into whatever is happening at that point in time. You're leading at 3-2, 90 plus minutes. You only have 2 more minutes to kill the game. Lewandowski scored 5 goals in 9 minutes. Manchester United in 1999 scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to win the Champions League. People can score 3 goals in 2 minutes. You have 3-2, 2 minutes, and you're still pursuing goal. So I think that's where he got it wrong.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Godwin, I don't know if you have anything, but
Yes,
before you add, I want to present something so that we all add it together. So, bringing up now the English Premier League, and we've seen the final 11 of the 2024-2025 English Premier League team of the season, and I want us to look at the list of players there. We see more of Liverpool players there. We see like 1, 2, 3, 4 Liverpool players, 1 Chelsea, 2 Arsenal, 1 Newcastle, and what have you. So we want to talk about this as we hear your take on the tactics from the semi-finals of the UEFA.
All right. Thank you so much, Ebuka. That was actually the question I intend for Comrade Soko. So, Comrade, if you are there, I believe you had that question from Ebuka. So, in 30 seconds, can you just make a comment on that?
Okay. Thank you very, very much. The team of the season, I think that it's not coming as a surprise. All the players that I expect to be there, they are actually there. Even some players from the lower team, which is Benamont. I think their left back, Kekes, was also identified in the team of the season. So I would think that it was a fair reflection. That's the FC 25. It was a fair reflection of what actually happened in the season. So I'm actually surprised that my club Chelsea was able to get Palmer there, because I was not actually expecting him to be there, because he had almost an inconsistent season, up and down season. So I was not actually expecting him to be there. So that was my only surprise. So the other slots were well deserved. So congratulations to Liverpool. Chelsea gave them the guard of honor on Sunday. Or I was happy that we were able to wallop them.
I still wallop them again.
That particular feature. So it was actually a very, very the humiliation of Chelsea did not last very, very long. Very, very long. So I was really, really happy with that particular race. So thank you very much, Mr. Bosman.
All right, thank you, comrade. Mr. Raphael.
I also think that those that made the squad, that made the list, they deserved it. When Comrade Soko mentioned the Bournemouth player Kekes, if you check now, the top teams are looking for him at the summer to sign him at the moment. Kekes has played very well. Gabriel also did the same thing. Van Dijk, and what have you, even in the midfield. Yes, Palmer might not be scoring as we expect him to score, but trust me, he has given he's giving Chelsea his all this season, even though he might not be getting the goals. Then last but not the least, the attack lineup. Of course, who do you want there? You want your Isak, you want your Salah, and Konya, who is also doing very well. Being also scouted by, I think, Manchester United right now wants him. And then you have in the bench people like Saka, Haaland, and what have you. Not minding the goalkeeping position, that's Sels of Nottingham Forest, who is at the moment the best goalkeeper in the EPL, if you ask me. Do you understand? So I think they deserved their slot. One thing I would have loved to watch, we used to have it back in the days. When I say back in the days, I beg, no be 80s or 70s. I'm talking about 90s, when we had Africa Play Europe, selected players from Africa Play Europe. I think, everybody keeps saying which league is the best. Right now we have an English team, Chelsea, about to go into the final of the Conference League. We have 2 English teams, Tottenham and Manchester United, about to go into the final of the Europa League. Arsenal just lost the opportunity of going into the Champions League final. So we had English leagues teams everywhere. So I'd have loved the points where we have a selected side of English team, Spanish team, French and German team, and what have you, play a league. So we come out and say we'll know the league that is the toughest or the best.
That I think that has to do with the World Club.
No, that's not World Club. That World Club is
World
still,
Cup.
they're still going to represent their own clubs. I'm talking about selected side of like what we have now on the screen. Those guys representing England. Spain give us theirs.
Their
France
best
give us
11.
theirs. Germany give us theirs. And let's have a league. You understand me? Let's have a league. So we'll go fit talk say, okay, for this year, this country,
the best 11 from
the best
EPL,
from here. Do you understand
here.
me? Because now they're not playing for their countries. They're not playing. They're not playing for their clubs.
They're playing
now
for the league.
Playing for the league. So I think FIFA should look into it and give us a league in that manner that would come and give us the what's it called, the biggest league of the year.
All right, thank you so much. Any last word from you, my co-anchor?
Yes, indeed. I just looking at the lockdown between PSG and Inter Milan. For me, as an Arsenal fan, I would want to wish Inter Milan the best.
Because PSG beat you.
Because you lost to PSG, so you want to wish.
You don't pass like this. So.
No, I think that's when you say you were watching the match yesterday, and when PSG scored, you heard so loud and echo. I think that's where Chelsea
heard your voice.
Chelsea fans, Man U fans, Man City fans, everybody.
You know why I say I'm sure I heard Soko's voice, because after the match, I first sent me message before I post anything. Before my doctor even advised me, I first post me good night. I don't know when you tell me good night last. So last night they wish me good night before.
So I think that's the same thing that's now happening with my co-anchor Godwin. Godwin is an Arsenal fan.
Godwin,
I don't think there's anything wrong. When Arsenal lost that match, a Manchester United fan walked up to me and said if Arsenal had won, there would not be anything to talk about in football. And I was like, are you kidding me?
That's the other. You see, oh my God, we have suffered. Arsenal. Don't be we don't want win trophy. Now the world people they collect our. Now the world people we are doing our best.
So for me, in order to keep the conversation on, Inter Milan should just beat PSG, so Arsenal can carry their heads high.
I think that there's this publication or statement that was out. They said at every point or at every year where the finals is taken to Germany, a new team emerges as the winner, and it's same thing also happened when the Pope dies. So PSG has never won. They've never won. Exactly, they've never won the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Meanwhile, Inter Milan has taken the trophy.
Inter Milan can be seen as the new winner after a very long time.
After almost 16 years.
What I want to add is this: it will be very. Although in the Europa League we must have an English winner because we are going to have Tottenham play Manchester United. I don't know what the other teams want to do to overturn the first leg, because Manchester United and Tottenham went away and got good results. Do you understand me? Now, which means we are going to be watching an English final in the Europa Cup. I pray and wish Chelsea well to also win the Conference League. To win the Conference League. I was wishing that Arsenal got into the final so that we have an all-English
team.
Do you understand? But since that one didn't work out well, it will be bad for Chelsea to also now lose in the Conference League, and then of course there's no how two English teams will lose in the final of the Europa Cup. One team must win. So in other words, we are still going to get one for England.
I don't even expect Chelsea to lose the second leg of the game. I think they were
Chelsea.
First leg was
done and dusted. It's done and dusted. So Chelsea should just go and prepare for the final.
Comrade, I guess people will not make any errors.
We didn't see Dr. Izu, but I wanted to say this in case he maybe watches this program later. Yes, the fact that we didn't enter final and win the trophy doesn't mean I won't get my jersey. You can give me half of the jersey. You can give me half
without customizing
without the name. Just the jersey without the name.
All right. So, gentlemen, thank you. Our time is fast spent, and we have to end the show. We have to call it a day today. So, we want to say a very big thank you to our dear viewers for always being there, joining us on the show. Thank you for your views and your comments, and always having to watch us when we come on the show. So thank you to our guests, most especially especially Comrade Abraham Soko, who is joining us all the way from Delta State virtually. Thank you, Comrade, and we look forward to having you celebrate your trophy, your conference league trophy, as we hope Chelsea will be crowned champions. And when that happens, we look forward to receiving some packages from all the Chelsea fans in the house, especially from you, Comrade Abraham.
Even if Chelsea win, send me Arsenal jersey.
Yes. So we also want to appreciate our guest here in the studio, Mr. Rafael Oja Okomo. It's been pleasant having you here.
Thank you very much.
Studio. And I want to extend our heartfelt condolence to you for losing out in the Champions League final. And
the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. I heard those principalities and powers last night when PSG scored against Arsenal.
All right, so the pursuit for a trophy for the Emirates in Arsenal in London continues next season, because it's not yet over. Life still goes on. Thank you, my co-anchor, for being here on the show. It's wonderful having you co-anchor the show with me, and so I look forward to having you more and more. Thank you for being here on the show. And viewers, this is where we'll call it a day on today's edition of Now Streaming Sports. We look forward to having you over and over again. Champions are born. Some champions are born, and some champions can even be made, but basically champions are born. You can work your way to championship, you can work your way to stardom, but you must be deliberate about your actions. You must be deliberate about your effort and everything you put in place in ensuring that you get to where you seek to be. Well, until we come your way again next time, I'm Chukwe Buka, and I'm saying goodbye and see you next time.